Hey, what's up? This is Brandon Simmons for BrandonSimmons.biz, and this is my weekly video blog called Bullheaded, a review of the Houston Texans news as well as a preview of their upcoming game matchups. So, this week the Texans will be on a short week and they will be hosting the Buffalo Bills for Thursday Night Football. And this time they are going to be, unfortunately, again without CJ Stroud and Jalen Pitre. So I'll get into all those news items and what the Texans need to do to get a W out of that game. First, let me do a quick, somewhat quick, game recap of their win over the Titans. So Texans beat the Titans 16-13 Sunday on the road in a last-second field goal by kicker Matthew Wright. And a couple things I want to take away from this game. It was pretty much it was pretty much the trap game hype that I expected it to be. So last week when I was doing a game preview, I said that this was going to be a game similar to our game against the Jacksonville Jaguars, being the fact that we were actually going to be the Jacksonville Jaguars and the Titans were going to be us. You know what I'm saying? And so what I meant by that was, we were going to be the bigger opponent. They were going to be the less opponent, considering their record and everything that they had going on. And I mean, that was pretty much true. We came in, they jumped out, to an early lead. They gave us their best fight, pretty much. They jumped out to a 3-0 lead. Actually jumped out to a 6-0 lead after the middle of the third quarter, and after that, that's when we kind of turned things around. Texans offense came out. Davis Mills, he hit Nico Collins for a couple of passes, including a touchdown on that drive. We got up 7-6, came back out. Let's see, was that 3 and out? No 3 and out. But yeah. Actually, yeah. Uh, Defense forced a 3 and out. Um, Came back and hit Collins again to this time to convert a 2nd and 3, and what I'm saying, ended up kicking a field goal. So that completed 10 straight points for the offense in that third quarter. Um, you know, also yeah, so yeah, um, pretty much that's how things kind of went. And that's in that second half, Texans offense came alive, able to go up actually 13 straight points in the second half. The thing is, Titans came back to tie it up. It's set up by that huge reception by the Titans receiver that would actually set up a touchdown to tie the game, and then Mills led the drive for the game-winning field goal. So, look, it was in every sense of the word a trap game that we know the Texans could have potentially lost. Thankfully that they didn't, and they pulled away with a solid win to keep our postseason hopes alive. So right now we're tied with the Baltimore Ravens, Kansas City Chiefs, and I'm pretty sure a lot of people probably expected us before the season to be tied with the Baltimore Ravens and Kansas City Chiefs in a playoff race, but just not on the outside looking into that playoff race. So, big ups to Davis Mills for leading that drive, holding things down. Who actually had 274 yards passing and a touchdown in this game, but also for sack 4 times. Um, and threw the ball 41 times at that. So definitely some things to be working on for sure. But yeah, big ups to him for leading that drive. But also big ups to Matthew Wright for kicking that game-winning field goal to notching us that win. So, with that being said, moving on. Speaking of Matthew Wright, he held it down in the absence of Kaimi Fairbairn, who should be returning this Thursday. He was listed as a full participant. He missed the last 2 games due to a quadriceps injury, but he was listed as a full participant in practice. Speaking of practice, CJ Stroud did return to practice. However, but he has officially been ruled out for this Thursday's game. Still in concussion protocol. Jalen Pitre as well officially ruled out for this Thursday's game. So that'll be the third straight game without Stroud and Pitre. Um, Mills has been doing, what I'm saying, a tremendous job in Stroud's place. So we've seen two sides of this offense. We've seen a high scoring offense, and we've also seen like a low scoring offense. So hopefully we see hopefully we see the high scoring for this Thursday game. But um, as far as Stroud goes, I'm not sure how far along he is in this concussion protocol. Um, I see it as a silver lining that, hey, it's regardless of the outcome of this Thursday's game, that's a lot more time for him to heal up and actually get things back, actually get back into a rhythm by the time the Colts game come around. So um, definitely, hopefully, he's in a full official recovery for that. Same thing for Pitre. As good as this defense has been playing these last two games, definitely want to see him back out on that field as well at full health and ready to make some big plays with this defense. So, with that being said, it is time to get into this Buffalo game. And boy, what a time. Excuse me, y'all. Did not get the Windows 10. Okay, so yeah, and there we go. All right, there we go. So, like I said, time to get into this Buffalo game. It's it's probably out of this 3 game stretch without Stroud and Pitre, this ain't no probably to it. This is going to be the toughest opponent that we have during this stretch. And the Buffalo Bills, they are once again, they are them. They're quickly on their way to becoming one of the top teams in this conference, slowly trying to compete for the number one spot if they can, compete for that, if they can get, over in their own division as well. Currently behind the New England Patriots, but other than that, man, they're just. I mean, I don't know what you can say to, to describe them. It's the Buffalo Bills, man. They're going to be definitely a tough draw. One of the toughest opponents on anybody's schedule, and especially ours. And so they couldn't have came at a worse time than when our starting quarterback and star safety are out for the third straight game. Um, and so they're coming off a win when they actually beat the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, a team we actually, clashed with earlier in the year. And so they put up 44 points on a very good Buccaneers team, mind you. And so now we're faced with the task of hosting this Buffalo team that's stacked on both sides of the ball, especially on the offensive side of the ball. So, with that being said, here's a few things that the Texans can do um, to get a win against the Buffalo Bills team this week. So, number one, the Texans have to defend until the whistle blows. Simple as that. So, definitely Buffalo is definitely stacked on offense, and it's not just Josh Allen. It's what it's not just Josh Allen, but it's more so the weapons he has around him. He has running backs, receivers, James Cook, Ty Johnson. He has those guys in the backfield. As far as his receivers go, he doesn't have Stephon Diggs, but he has a multitude of receivers that can come out of anywhere and just have a big play. He has Khalil Shakir, Keon Coleman when what I'm saying, he's not missing meetings and everything like that. Joshua Palmer, Dalton Kincaid when he's healthy, he can go off for a big game. So I think they still have Dawson Knox. Dalton Knox, Dawson Knox. Yeah, I got it right the first time. But what I'm saying, he just has weapons pretty much everywhere. And so the thing is about that, Josh Allen can either throw it or run the ball. He's third in rushing touchdowns himself. You know what I'm saying? So it's going to be very important that that this Texans defense just really covers and defends until the whistle blows, because Allen has the ability to extend plays within the pocket, just moving around in the pocket. He has very good pocket presence, but he also can be very dangerous um, getting outside of the pocket. Hence the third in rushing touchdowns. So very important to just kind of really uh, defend those receivers, cover those receivers until he makes a decision on what he wants to do, or very much until the whistle blows and you know what I'm saying the play just stops. Because you don't want to get him getting out of the pocket and making any big plays down the field. So it's going to be very important for the secondary to fix any coverage lapses. They had quite a few of those in the Titans game, so they're going to need to tighten up on that, no pun intended, uh, against the Buffalo Bills, because those receivers can definitely find any open space. In addition to his third in the league in touchdowns, he's also averaging, I believe, yeah, the receivers. Passing offense itself is averaging 12 yards per completion, which is fourth in the league. So he's putting up big numbers in that as well. And as I mentioned, the backfield is dangerous. So if it ain't James Cook, it's Ty Johnson that can find the ball in space, as far as like catching it and everything, and just maybe what I'm saying, getting a huge chunk or whatever. So definitely want to make sure that that's something that you kind of that the defense monitors for. Um, and like I said, if they can kind of disrupt that and get the rhythm off of that, it's get the rhythm off of those receivers. It's going to be very important and crucial to the success of this team. Uh, Number two, Davis Mills and Nick Caley must have the game of their lives. So the last two games have been highs and lows in terms of scoring for this Texans offense. Davis Mills able to put up a pretty great performance against the Jacksonville Jaguars. Came back and threw for 274 against this Tennessee Titans team. So um, I think, and especially in this Titans game, it was a pretty impressive drive, especially because he was able to find Nico Collins, who had 9 catches for 92 yards in that game. So um, it's definitely going to be important that they find the highs. They find the highs of both of these past two games and implement them in this game against Buffalo. Um, Another thing uh, about success against this Buffalo team is Buffalo is 29th in run defense. So Nick Caley is going to have to devise a way to get this run game going. Um, Nick Chubb, I don't think he was used enough in his last game against the Tennessee Titans. So they're going to have to find a way to use him more in this game, preferably on the ground in short yardage situations. Definitely feed him the ball. And even if it's maybe a first down or second down. Find him, use him to make long yardage situations into manageable situations. So maybe feed him the ball on a 2nd and 7, 2nd and 8 to make it into a 3rd and short or something like that. So definitely find ways to feed Nick Chubb the ball on the ground. Not so much the passing game. I would reserve the passing. Out of the backfield for Woody Marks, but definitely get Chubb going and get Chubb going involved in this get Chubb going in this running game on short yardage situations, and also execute in the red zone. So the last game, the opening drive, it failed on that in the red zone, like when it didn't have to. So better execution, so less penalties, better protection, and better play calling in there. You know what I'm saying? So definitely get those things correct when in the red zone. Third and final thing, because speaking of the red zone, long drives. If anything, probably just ignore what I said and you focus on this point. Long drives for this Texans offense is gonna have to be a must. Um, the priority is gonna have to be keeping Josh Allen and that Bills offense off the field for a long period of time and keep them off of their rhythm. So look. we can defend Josh Allen all day. You know, keep him in the pocket, keep him, off balance or whatever. But gonna have to be it's gonna have to, come from the help of long offensive drives. So in the Jacksonville game, Texans had multiple double-digit drives in the fourth quarter, and it wore that Jacksonville defense down. Same thing can happen for this Buffalo Bills defense. With those long drives, wear them down. Um, and that just means, executing, getting the run game going, getting the pass game going, all that stuff. Keep the long drives going. Win the battle of the time of possession, and just wear that Buffalo Bills defense down. You're able to wear them down. You're able to keep this offense out of rhythm, and it can be done. You know what I'm saying? Atlanta, they were able to keep the Bills offense out of rhythm. They were able to jump to a big lead and pull off a win in that game. So um, definitely you want to keep Josh Allen and this Buffalo Bills offense off the field as much as they can, especially with all the weapons that they have on that side of the football. So, long double-digit drives definitely going to be a key priority for the success of this Texans team. So, just to go back down the list, um, Texans they need to defend until the whistle blows. Um, you know, minimize Josh Allen's playmaking ability, fix the coverage lapses that have appeared in these last two games, and just kind of polish those up a little bit to really just cover the receivers and take away those opportunities, and as well as minimize the playmaking out of the backfield. Number two, Davis Mills and Nick Caley just really need to lock in and just, really had a game of their lives. Take the positives of the last two games that Davis Mills has played and, implement all of those into this game plan against this Buffalo defense. Also, get the run game going. Nick Caley has to find a way to get the run game going with Woody Marks and Nick Chubb, and just so they can wear down this Buffalo Bills defense as well as execute in the red zone. Number three, third and final thing, create long offensive drives that will wear down this Buffalo Bills defense and disrupt the rhythm of that stacked Buffalo Bills offense. If they can do that, they can definitely come away with a win this Thursday night hosting the Buffalo Bills. So that's all I got for y'all this week. If you're watching this on Facebook, facebook.com/Brandon Blog, like my page, like this video, share this video with your people on your news feed. If you're watching this on YouTube, like this video, subscribe to my channel, and share this on whatever platform you want to share this with. So, I'm Brandon Simmons from BrandonSimmons.biz. Holla black.